Don't all girls everywhere deserve a fair chance in life? A chance to live, to learn, to count, to thrive. A chance to be a girl. All over the world, whether in the United States, England, France, Kenya, India, Malawi, Thailand, girls are not given a chance. This is my mom's birth country, Colombia, and one of my favorite places in the world. But girls here are not always given a fair chance. My name is Maria Teresa Melendez Cabeza. I'm 19 years old. After I was born, my father didn't speak with my mother. He abandoned us. My mom had to go and work, and I'd stayed home with my stepfather. He was very abusive. He always hit me with whatever he could find. My brother became a drug addict. My sister got pregnant at 15 and left the house. My hopes were to study and be someone to help my mother so that she wouldn't have to depend on him anymore. I remember that I used to go to school with ripped shoes and no uniform, but I went to school because I wanted to study. One day, when I was 10 years old, I encountered a man in his 30s. He got close to me and said, "Come with me." He said he could give me a better life. He tried to rape me, so I struck him in the back with a knife and sprinted off. I had to defend myself. My stepfather ruined everything for myself and everyone I cared about, so I went home and started to cook dinner for my stepfather like always. But I poisoned his food with rat poison. He ate all of his food with the poison and almost died. Dad had to cut up his entire chest, and he has to remember me every time he looks in the mirror. Just like I have to remember him from all the scars he left me with. Later, I went to live in a house with a girl I knew, where they sold a lot of drugs. They accepted me, and now I know it was because they wanted to use me, to make me a prostitute. I never wanted that. That was never me. I'm just not that girl. In that house, I encountered a man who raped me. I felt as though I was screaming, but no one could hear me. He told me that I like this, that if I was a serious person, I wouldn't be here. But I wasn't there because I wanted to be. I had nowhere else to go. When I was 13, I got pregnant. My friend said she would give me pills so that I could have an abortion. But in the process, I got a terrible infection. I wanted to be a little girl. I wanted to play with dolls. I wanted to study. I wanted so badly to study. When I was 17, I fell in love with a boy. He said he didn't care what people said because he loved me, and he took me to live in his house, where I was safe. I left the drugs, left the streets, and started a new life with him. I felt happy. We had a baby. It was a miracle because of my abortions and everything that happened in my past. And I graduated high school last year. I feel so happy because I've learned to forgive. I can't forget all the things that happened in my life, but I can forgive. It's not easy. I spent so much time in the streets, helpless. But whenever I get temptations, I just look at my son and give him a hug. My son is tremendous. He is an innocent little boy, just like I was a little girl and didn't know. But I don't want my son to suffer like I did. That's why I study, for a better future. Not everything around us is bad like I once thought. In 20 years, I see my son studying in a university. And me, I will be a great psychologist. I'm not a person with many problems anymore. I'm a person with many virtues. I am a survivor. I want to help girls like me. I will give them my testimony, my story, so they can see that they too can be survivors. Don't let anyone hurt you, physically or verbally. There is light at the end of the tunnel. There's happiness ahead. More than half of the children that are not in school are girls. Pregnancy and childbirth are the leading causes of death among girls ages 15 to 19 worldwide. Violence kills and disables as many women between the ages of 15 and 44 as cancer. Worldwide, nearly 50% of all sexual assaults are against girls 15 years or younger. As a co-chair for the National Teen Advisory Board for the United Nations Foundation's Girl Up campaign, I strive every day to change this. If we can change this fate, these girls can change their futures, their families' futures, and their communities' futures, and end the vicious cycle of poverty for the world.
Hello, everyone. Good evening. Welcome to the 2014 Girls Impact the World Film Festival. My name is Rebecca Dharmapalan, and I'm the director of International Boulevard, the documentary that won grand prize last year. The film you just saw is called A Chance. It is a top 3 finalist for this year's Judges' Choice Award. When Lila asked me to do the opening speech, I was hella excited. Hella is a word that we use in place of really or very when describing something out of this world. Hella is a word that originates in Oakland, and we definitely do not use it sparingly. When Lila asked me to do the opening speech, I was hella excited. And now you know I am hella proud to be living in Oakland, California as a permanent resident. Oakland is a town known for their rich history in social justice movements, including the disability movement, women's rights movement, and it is even the birthplace of the Black Panthers Party. Oakland is also known for their artistic development, with galleries and workshops from the east to the west, up and down Telegraph Avenue. Music walks the streets through the Fox Theater, down to Yoshi's Jazz Club, and into the new parish with young artists budding with talent. One of the best parts of Oakland, California is probably my favorite part. It's the minds of my peers and the students around me who are continuously thinking of new ways to expand their social outlook. However, in my beloved city of Oakland, we have a serious, serious problem. Although Oakland has the largest concentration of artists in the entire nation, it is one of the most diverse cities in the world. Oakland is also the hub for domestic human trafficking. My good friend Zoe and I decided we were going to do something about that. We came together one evening and discovered that we could truly make an impact on our artistic skills and our civil leadership. At the time, we did not understand the gravity of the situation, nor did we understand that in Oakland alone, child trafficking was an underground billion-dollar industry. Zoe and I worked tirelessly creating our film that we now know as International Boulevard. I am proud to say that Girls Impact the World gave us the platform to share our ideas in a way that was presentable to all audiences. Since Zoe and I won the festival, many doors have been opened to both of us. Zoe is spending her senior year of high school in Turkey, which she is thoroughly enjoying, and I have remained in Oakland, and I've continued to attend Oakland School for the Arts with a focus on jazz vocals. International Boulevard, a documentary, has since been featured in major publications such as Forbes, Oakland Post, Heat Watch, and Heart of Gold. I was elected chair of the City of Oakland's Youth Commission, where we have created the first commercially sexually exploited minors task force. We launched a major billboard campaign throughout Oakland, spreading awareness and connecting victims to resources. We are partnering with the Oakland Unified School District on creating curriculum for all 7th graders in Oakland to learn about child exploitation. We are also working with local doctors and nurses in Oakland Children's Hospital to create a set of protocols that medical professionals can follow in order to better serve their victims. We are the first city in the nation to take steps towards prevention of child exploitation. I'm currently starting my next big project, actually. It's a TED Talk, and it's called TEDx, Oakland Youth Voices, where I hope to affect the negative perceptions of Oakland and provide a platform for other youth voices to be heard. To this day, I believe that International Boulevard was the spark that activated our community to take action. We are no longer the city that watches child exploitation exist. We are the city that created a mindset that will hopefully change the world. And all the projects that I'm working on today originate back to the opportunities that Girls Impact the World has provided for me. Thank you, Lila, Ara, and Kelly, for having me here today. I feel hella blessed and honored, and I hope you all enjoy the rest of your evening at the 2nd annual Girls Impact the World Film Festival. Thank you.
Thank you, Rebecca. Like Rebecca said, good evening and welcome to the Girls Impact the World Film Festival Awards ceremony. We hope everyone had fun taking pictures outside and enjoyed the Whole Foods refreshments. Good food, right? Whole Foods. We are so happy to present you with an evening full of provoking short films, engaging speakers from the entertainment and social enterprise industries, and the presenting of some awesome awards. My name is Ara Parikh. I'm a junior here at Harvard, and I'm one of the founders of the Film Festival.
And I'm Carrie Hammond. I'm a senior here at Harvard and another one of the co-founders. We'll be your MCs for the night. Our team also comprises Lila Igram, the founder of Connect Her, an Austin-based nonprofit, and the Harvard Social Innovation Collaborative. And together, we're very proud to present you the work of incredibly talented high school and college students. I'd like to invite Nishan Nathwani, current president of SICK, up for a few opening remarks.
Good evening, everyone. As Ara and Carrie mentioned, my name is Nishan Nathwani, and I'm the president of the Social Innovation Collaborative, and I'd like to briefly introduce you to our board. They're in the room and have worked hard with the team at Girls Impact the World with Ara, Carrie, and Lila to make this event a success. So thank you to the team who helped support this. It is our privilege, this is the second time that we're co-sponsoring this, and we've had the privilege to work with a wonderful team as the largest undergraduate-run organization on campus dedicated entirely to social innovation. We believe in the importance of furthering the discussion on college campuses regarding women's and girls' issues. And one of our most popular panels, actually, at our largest premier event, is dedicated to women's empowerment. That's the Igniting Innovation Summit on Social Entrepreneurship. So I'll keep it brief, because I know you're excited to see the films tonight, but I'd like to thank again the organizing team and hope to see you at future SICK events. Thanks a lot.
Thanks, Nishan. So the Girls Impact the World Film Festival, at its core, is a scholarship. High school and undergraduate college students from around the world submitted over 80 films that shed light on or offered a solution to advancing women and girls globally. We received films on maternal health, domestic violence, empowerment, portraits of courageous women, and more. Films were in documentary, narrative, silent, and even music video formats. You can view all the submissions at connecther.org/GITW. And our film festival really strives to give a platform and distribution channels for these students' voices in addition to a scholarship.
From these 80-plus films, the top 15 were announced via social media, which is a core principle of our film festival to really engage audiences online. And our finalist judges personally screened and reviewed these films, and we're very fortunate to have them on board with us. They include Participant Media founder and former eBay president Jeff Skoll, who's produced films like The Help, Syriana, Lincoln, and more. CEO of the Paley Center for Media, Pat Mitchell. Women for Women International founder Zainab Salbi. Dubai International Film Festival chairman Abdul Hamid Juma. Virgin Unite CEO Jean Olwang. And we're very happy that two of our finalist judges could actually join us here tonight. They are actress Eloise DeJoria and Ian Somerhalder, actor from the hit CW series Vampire Diaries and founder of the IS Foundation.
So all 15 finalists are recognized in your program. Some of them made it to Cambridge for the festival tonight. Please stand when you're announced, all of you in the audience. The film A Chance, which you just saw, by Sarah Gale from Pinecrest School in South Florida. The film Broken Beauty by Jordan Roach from the University of Oregon. The film Point to Be by Catherine Harhai from St. Mary's Academy. The film She Plus Plus by Aina Agarwal and Elora Israni from Stanford University.
It's a long way away. It's okay.
It's a long flight. The film What's Love by Adriana Jackson and Denise Sanchez from North Shore Senior High School. And last but not least, the film Harvesting Hope by Sarah Kahn.
Now I'd like to hand it off to Deepa Donde, who will be presenting our first award, the Brave New Beauty Award.
So much. I'm sick. I don't know if everybody else here is sick, but I have some laryngitis, so excuse me while I try to get through this speech. First, I wanted to say thanks, Lila. Kelly and Ara. This really is a truly incredible place and situation. Did I do something? Oh my gosh, I started the next winner. Sorry about that. So I wanted to say that I've been involved with the festival now for 2 years, and it's been just an incredible opportunity. But really, why this particular award exists has to do with conversations. Conversations like the ones that sparked the idea for this next award happen when, you know, good friends get together and just chit-chat. She was kicked off in a living room surrounded by samosas, baba ganoush, chips and salsa. Yeah, that's me and Lila, actually, in Texas. Chai, steaming hot chai, and even more garam cha, as it's actually called in Hindi. But watching your sons and daughters play outside full of smiles and happiness without a care for how each one looks to the other. Children like mine, my son Kishan and my daughter Yasmin, 5 and 4, don't think about their appearance outwardly. What they actually most care about in the moment is, are they enjoying this moment right here, right now? And appreciating that singular moment is really what dissipates as we get older. When I was in college, a stone's throw from here, Brown, I couldn't stop talking about Naomi Wolf's The Beauty Myth. Us girls back then just thought it was the cat's meow. But nearly 20 years later, some things have changed and some things have really stayed the same. I have to raise, at this moment, the cover of Vogue. I don't know if you all have seen it, but I'm a big fan of Lena Dunham because I think that she really represents this new conversation that we're having about beauty, about looks, creativity, writers, directors, women taking charge of ourselves and really telling the stories that are most important to tell. We had a different name for this award when we initially thought about it, but the beautiful thing about social media is really the concept of interactivity and the response that we got from young women across the country and globe. These women who have submitted films to this festival are actually redefining categories and rewriting the rules. And I'm just so honored that actually after I watched this film that Jordan Roach did called Broken Beauty, that, I mean, it was an emotional moment for me to actually see a young woman take this idea, this concept, this conversation that Lila and I were talking about. Okay, I want to do something about beauty, but, you know, I want these girls to maybe kind of come up with some sort of response. And what I saw, Jordan, was just tremendous. And I'm so proud that we have what I'm calling this new award, A Brave New Beauty. So can we take a look at this year's film?
too hard and I always lag. Days are grey and the nights are black for me. Wait for me. Ooh, wait for me. life isn't what I'd seen. The sky's not blue and the field's not green. I'm gonna ask you to look away. My broken life will never stay. Try too hard and I always lag. Days are grey and the nights are black.
Jordan, I'd like to invite you to come down and accept this award from Girls Impact the World. It's a $2,500 award for this brave new beauty.
Thank you
so
much.
proud of you. So wonderful.
Thank you, Deepa, and congratulations, Jordan. I am honored to present our keynote speaker and finalist judge for next year, Abigail Disney. She is a renowned filmmaker and philanthropist. Her first feature film, Pray the Devil Back to Hell, is about the women of Liberia and their efforts to bring peace to the country. It won the Tribeca Best Documentary Film Award, actually. Additionally, Abigail also produces the PBS miniseries Women, War, and Peace, which focuses on giving grants to grassroots organizations that make changes in low-income communities in New York. Abigail also serves on the boards of the Roy Disney Family Foundation, the Global Fund for Women, and the Fund for the City of New York. Please join me in welcoming her.
I think I have a laugh, which just makes me assume I need to do this Dr. Phil style. So, well, I want to start by thanking all of you, and especially you guys, for asking me to come here, because I'm already incredibly impressed by what I've seen. That was a beautiful, beautiful film. They were both beautiful films, and I understand what an undertaking it is, and it's an empty canvas, right? And you have to fill it with sound and movement and words, and that's an incredibly daunting task. So congratulations for what you've done. I was a little jockey girl. I was a little tomboy kind of a girl, and at 6, 7, 8 years old, I played linebacker on the on the neighborhood football team, and this, that, and the other thing, and I was invincible. My sister played Barbies, and in the meantime, I have this great photograph of myself on Christmas morning. I asked Santa Claus to bring me a G.I. Joe, and he brought me an ironing board. I really need to put that picture up on Facebook, because I've got this look on my face like, Santa's in on it too. Every night I went to sleep, I swear to God, every night I went to sleep and I had a dream about there were 3 dreams I had every night. Taking the oath of office of the President of the United States, winning my Olympic gold medal, and winning my Oscar. I had that, every third night I'd have one of those dreams, you know. And right around 12 or 13, like probably everybody in this room, I stopped having those dreams. I just stopped having those dreams. And we're all familiar with what happens to us as girls at a certain point, and we still don't really entirely know whether it's social or psychological or even biological, but something really, you hit a brick wall. And when I was a 14-year-old freshman in high school, I loved playing soccer more than anything in the world. And my brother played on the JV boys team. We didn't have a girls team at the time. Title IX had passed, but news had not reached Los Angeles, yes, I guess. So the coach asked me to come play on the boys team, which was pretty awesome. I didn't even think twice about it. I just was like, sure, why not? Give me a ball, let me run, let me do my thing. I played one game. I had a goal, an assist, and a yellow card. Because I am a whack job. And I went to school the next day. And, you know, as every day, they would announce what had happened in the game before the big assembly, 300, 350 kids standing around. And so they announced what happened at this game. And there was a silence. It was like, I will never forget it. And then one guy, one voice, excuse me, effing goalie, yells really loud, "Attaboy, Abby." And everybody laughed. And this little tap on my shoulder came. And it was the principal's assistant. She said she wants to see you right away. The principal told me, "You're an embarrassment to the school. If you ever do this again, we'll expel you." So, I, like a lot of girls, grew up to a certain point and then noticed that I could dream, but my dreams all had lids on them, you know? And I played baseball with my brothers, and they dreamed of playing with Willie Mays, and I couldn't dream that with them. And I don't know how I managed to bust out of that, because the message was very, very clear from beginning to end, that I was worth less, I'd go less far, and it really didn't matter how much I contributed. But luckily, some of us, I would imagine most of these girls who picked up cameras and had the initiative to make these films are like me in that I may have gotten the memo, but I didn't read it. So I just charged onward, and I went to college, and I did my thing, and I had my kids. And one day, a few years ago, I was invited, actually by Swanee Hunt, who teaches here at Harvard, to come with her to Liberia. So my life had led me on a lot of kind of twists and turns, and actually went to college and didn't really like feminists much. They were kind of mean, and they had hairy armpits, and I was a little scared of them. But as I got a little older and started kind of paying attention to the world around me and noticing that even still there were not that many women running for office, and even still, you know, in my 20s and 30s and 40s, I looked around me and I saw that there was a lid on everybody's pot, just the same as there was for mine. So I started becoming interested in women's political leadership, and that's why Swanee asked me to come with her to Liberia in 2006. And I was there because in 2006, for the first time in the history of Africa, there was a woman who'd been elected president of a country. First legitimate head of state, a woman in Africa since Cleopatra. So,
not a very long time.
No, and I don't hope we don't have to wait that long next time. So I went out of just sheer interest in what was happening in that country. I was curious. I figured there had to be a backstory. These things don't come out of nowhere. So while I was there, I listened to the kind of stuff people talked about. And the stuff people talked about was stuff like, oh, when we were sitting on the field for 3 years on Charles Taylor's way to work, oh, and do you remember when you threatened to strip naked? And I would hear these little things mentioned in these conversations, little bits and pieces. Clearly something very significant had happened in this country, and I didn't know about it. And they assumed it was all oral, it wasn't written anywhere, and they assumed we knew it, but it was clearly confined to Liberia. So I started aggressively starting to pick up these little shreds and put them together. It felt like I had half a jigsaw puzzle, you know, and little by little I might be able to glean, what is that thing that happened there? And what I realized was, indeed, something really important had happened. Essentially, the women had come together, Muslim and Christian. They worked out their differences. They prayed by the side of the road and fasted. They forced the president of Liberia to come to the peace talks in Ghana. And then when the peace talks broke down in Ghana, they surrounded the peace talks, locked arms, and took it hostage for the women of Liberia and forced an agreement for a peace that stood until that day I got there. It was the peace that brought the elections that brought President Sirleaf to office. Extraordinary thing that had happened, and I had never heard of it. Not a whiff, not a sound. We've all read about Sacagawea. We've all read about the other women, unlike Sacagawea, who didn't get remembered somehow by some miracle. We all know that there are, for every one Sacagawea you know about, there are 150, 200 that disappeared. And what I realized I was witnessing was what it looks like when that happens. It must look like this. It must kind of be in glimmers, a nice memory in people's imaginations. It might sound like a fantasy story, something that couldn't possibly really happen. This is all what it looks like right before it disappears. And our history is the history of the ever-disappearing story of our greatness. And it seemed to me in that moment that I had been uniquely born in life. Somehow I had, by incredible good fortune, been taken to this unlikely place. I'm an unlikely person, but I knew I had the capacity to stop the story before it went over the edge, and then just to pull it back, and then to lift it up. And so I made this film, Pray the Devil Back to Hell. And you make your first film at 46 years old. I was a little bit of a later bloomer than you guys. You know, I considered myself lucky that even my own mother would come to see it, frankly. But the fact that at Tribeca they were that excited about it was pretty mind-blowing. The first screening, even before Tribeca, that we ever had of the film was here actually at Harvard at the Women in Public Policy program, where they gather women from around the world. And there was a contingent of Liberians there, along with some Afghan women and Colombian women and women from, I think, Lebanon and 3 or 4 other countries. And, you know, I was so busy making this film, I had forgotten that it was going to have a life in the world. You get so, nodding, because, you know, you get so consumed in the edit room, you just absolutely forget there's a world outside. So I forgot to remember that something was going to happen. So this film, we showed it, and then the lights went down, and there was total silence, and I thought, oh, well, fuck, I fucked it up. And this one Liberian woman stands up, walks up to the front, grabs the microphone, and starts to sing the Liberian national anthem. And all the other women walk up next to her, the Liberian women, and they start singing with her. And then when they got to the end of the anthem, she said, "We had no idea what we did was such a big deal until we saw this film." It was pretty amazing. From there, I found myself, of all places, in Bosnia. I travel a lot. I go to a lot of different kinds of places, and the Bosnian women had heard about this film. This is even before Tribeca still. And they asked me to come to Srebrenica, where there had been a hideous massacre of Bosnian Muslims by the Serbs. And it's primarily a city of women at this point. Women there are just waiting for word, for remains and things. They're the most powerful women you'll ever meet. And we screened the film there. Now, I couldn't imagine what these Bosnian women were going to see in this film that had anything to do with them. I mean, and you know, honestly, if you've hung around with Eastern European women, they're a little funky on the race question. So I wasn't sure what we were going to have in that room. So we sit through the film, the lights come up, there's a long silence. I think, oh, fuck, I fucked it up again. and then the sobbing started. And then this incredibly interesting conversation started. You know, I really was reminded of myself by that woman, and my cousin Susan was just like that woman over there. And not only was there not a hesitancy about race at all, they saw themselves all over the film. These Bosnian women saw in the experience of the Liberian women exactly their experience of war and conflict, exactly their experience of the need for peace, exactly the experience of the frustrations of having loud, loud voices and it being like you're covered with some kind of filter that makes them not hear the plain and obvious things that you're saying. And about 15 minutes into that conversation, this amazing thing happened. And I now know, I've taken this film now to 30 countries. And I've shown it in Khartoum, and I've shown it in Sri Lanka, and I've shown it in Colombia and Peru, and all over the United States in very poor places. I mean, I've shown it in some crazy, crazy places. And the reaction is exactly like the one in Bosnia, and you could set your watch by this one thing. 15 minutes in, there's one woman who stands up, and she pushes up her sleeves. She always pushes up her sleeves. And she says, that's what happened there. What are we going to do here, today, in this place, about our problems? And in Tbilisi, Georgia, they wrote a position statement, and in Khartoum, they developed a women's petition to bring an end to the conflict in Darfur. And in Peru, they brought all the indigenous women together to talk about activism in their governmental processes, and it was extraordinary. So how do these things connect to each other? That lid is not a small thing. It's not just a question of, oh, finally, Danica Patrick drives a car. We're not talking about the niceness of middle-class people feeling empowered enough to go and do stuff. This has political consequences. There is a vast number of women and some kinds of men who are not invited or don't feel invited into the public square, who don't feel like significant factors in the shaping of their societies and in the molding of their own futures. And the minute they had a chance to see an example of what it looked like for effective women to just say, you know, fuck all that. I'm swearing a lot. Once the F word comes out, they just keep. Once they see one group of women throw caution to the wind and just give it a try, regardless of the fact that they don't have any models and they don't know what it looked like before them and they don't know if it's ever going to work, they realize how much they have at their fingertips as political actors, as shapers of their societies, and the moral and ethical dimensions of what it is they do every day. And how would this society be different if every single woman felt invited into these processes? Not just in Peru and Ecuador and Colombia, but here, how would the healthcare debate have gone differently? You know, how would the shutdown have gone differently if everybody in that room had really brought all of themselves to the process and all of everything that they knew about life and living? Because I went on to make Women, War, and Peace for PBS because it was important to make the case that this wasn't just some one-off thing that happened in Liberia sometime long ago. You know, I've heard stories now that I've been around the world showing this film of every single place. I've heard stories about Chechnya and Sri Lanka and Nepal. I've heard stories of women standing up in these incredible ways. Every single time they do it, they think they're the first ones who ever tried. You know, what would it be like if they started at second base for a change? What would it be like if they knew that it had succeeded before them, if they'd thought through the strategies, if they knew there was a history of this, if they knew there were women to reach out to? So I've seen what it looks like when women finally force themselves into processes. And it does, in fact, materially change everything. There was a warlord that we interviewed for the film, and I said to him, you know, I'm still not understanding why in a country where 50% of the women were raped, 50% of the women were raped, that one woman threatening to strip naked because the police are going to drag her off causes all of you to go completely apeshit. I mean, really, what was that about? They were climbing out the windows to get away from these scary women because one of them threatened to strip naked. And he looked at me like I was kind of stupid, you know, and he said, well, they were our mothers. And I said, well, what I still don't really understand. And he said, you'd have to ask yourself what would cause your own mother to give away the last shred of her dignity, volunteer her last shred of dignity like that. He said there wasn't one man in that room at that time, no matter what he'd done during the war, who didn't ask himself, what have I done to bring us to this place? So people ask me a lot and push back on me a lot about this connection that women have to making peace in the world And this is why I fight for it. I don't fight for it because, frankly, I think it's just fair that we get 50% and we should have our share and everybody shut up about it. There's an important paradigm shift that's contained in what we're fighting for here. Women do make a difference to peace, and that's for two reasons. One is, there's nowhere on earth where they haven't been given a certain set of tasks. They carry the water, they take care of the sick, they mine the dead, they bury them, they find the water, they get the education, they take care of the home. They do all the things that, if you put them together, can only be described as peace, or life, or living, or day-to-day, or whatever you want to call it. The one necessary precondition to their succeeding at all these things is peace. They can't do what they need to do without peace. But there's another piece of it, and it's contained in what that warlord said about what have I done to bring us to this place. I'm convinced that there's something in the sound of a woman's voice, which is materially different. If you edit a film that's lots of voices, and you realize you have too many men or too many women, it kind of is a problem, you know, because they sound different, and you get sort of sick of that one sound. There's a sound of a woman's voice that's very, very different, and I think it triggers very, very different things in most of us, because the vast majority of us had that as our first voice, you know? It was the first person who said, I love you. It was the first person who said, I'll take care of you. You're going to be all right. Let me give you some food. You're going to be safe. You're going to be warm. It was the first person who said to you, don't hit, share your toys, be generous. It's the voice of peace in all of our hearts, right? And there's a deep and important memory that we carry with us no matter how bad we get, no matter how many layers of crap we wrap around ourselves to make excuses for the way we operate in the dirty, dirty world that we have to operate in as grown-ups. And this is the voice that can penetrate all those layers of crap we wrap ourselves in. It is the voice of peace. And it makes me feel such a hopefulness, because what I realize is that if peace is not, you know, some imaginary place, you know, that someday, maybe just maybe we could make, but a memory that each of us carries in our hearts, doesn't it feel so much more achievable? Doesn't it feel like we can dial back to a place so much better than we can flail away to reach in somewhere in the distant future? And it makes me believe that it is our job as men and women out here to find and unearth that voice in ourselves. And that is why these women, I'm going to call you women, I know you're called girls up here, but I think once you've made films, you've crossed the line. Yes. That's why you're important. And you need to hold on to what you're doing. And you need to listen to what you know in your heart to be true. Because people will tell you, this is a little boring, you need to add a car chase to that, you know. People will tell you, I'll never sell, you'll never get a job. People will tell you this isn't the way we do it. My daughter's a filmmaker, so I know this. She's hearing all of it right now. I suggest you listen to your hearts. Read Virginia Woolf, read A Room of One's Own, first of all. You have to read it. And second of all, we need you. Please don't put these cameras down. Please keep doing what you're doing. The more you lift our voices up and add them to the cacophony out there, which is primarily male and primarily destructive and primarily violent and primarily solves problems with aggressive violence, you're going to be the counterweight to that. Somebody told me once that when you want fewer weeds, you add more flowers. So you're the flowers. Plant your brains out, girls. Thank you so much for what you do.
Abigail, you are the epitome of this festival. Thank you so much. It's really hard to be an MC and follow that. So I'm gonna present the next act of greatness, and that is the screening of the top 3 film Point B. Enjoy.
Dear 5-year-old me, it's me. I mean, it's you in 12 years. No, you don't become a pop star, but you do go on to do some pretty neat things. Catherine, something is going to happen to you this year. Something that you're not going to want to talk about. I want you to know that no matter how comforting silence seems to be, it will do nothing but hurt you in the long run. You won't understand this now, but the only things I regret in life are the things that I never said. The things I let build up inside of me until they exploded. And not a pretty explosion, like those fireworks you watch at Grammy and Pop's House every 4th of July, but an ugly explosion. Catherine, you've always been a good math student. Later on, you'll learn about something in math called exponents. They're these things that keep getting bigger and bigger. Silence is like an exponent. It gets worse and worse as you let it go on. It's never going to be easy to have certain conversations, but it will be a whole lot easier than letting those feelings build up inside of you while still trying to seem perfect on the outside. Oh, and speaking of perfection, it doesn't exist, so stop trying to get there. Instead, strive to be strong. Strong is far more admirable than perfect. Strong is acknowledging both your strengths and your weaknesses, your present and your past. Strong has cracks, strong is broken, but that's why strong is strong. Courage is point B, and how would we get there without starting at point A? This probably doesn't make much sense to you right now, but know that you are strong, and know that's so much better than perfect. Know that silence is not a solution. Know that when that man who says he loves you takes his clothes off and tells you to do the same, it's not really an act of love. Know that when he's on top of you, and you're crying and he's telling you to be quiet, it's not okay. Know that it's not your fault. Know that when he tells you to not tell anyone, he's not being strong, because silence is not strong. You are strong. Don't be afraid to break the silence and say what you need to say. You are point A, but there is a point B. I promise it gets better. Love, the older, wiser, stronger. Point B.
Next, we welcome Adriana Jackson, a student at North Shore Senior High School and the producer and singer in her short film, What's Love, Love, a top 15 finalist.
Like this.
Run away, run away. 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 Swerve left and then I swerve right. Pull up to my house, just trying to get my words right. I stumble through the door, busted lip and torn up clothes. Scratches on my face, blood dripping from my nose. My mom screaming, my dad runs out. What happened? He turns to me, tears in his eyes. Baby girl, what happened? Tried to explain, but just wrote down an address with a name. My boyfriend, they called him Baby Bandit. He swore he never hit me again, then again and again. He blackened my eyes, said let's pretend that this never happened. But you always trying to turn me to a madman. Don't ever say you leaving again, cause look what happens. He took another sniff of cocaine, picked me up off the floor and said, baby, I'll change. Well, I talked to Trina and she only 14. Told me about her boyfriend and how he's so mean. He been hanging with the wrong crew, saying what she gon' do, and now she starting to feel all the pain that he brings. She wishing it was right, but God knows that it's wrong. She can't leave him, she said they too far gone. Her daddy locked up and her mama don't care. She was looking for a friend, but nobody was there. I said, take my hand and maybe I can help you. I'm not with the ones trying to hurt you, leave you and desert you. Yeah, I know it hurts to leave, but it's worth the
try. Just listen to my lyrics, baby girl, they don't lie. Take a glance, just look in the mirror at yourself. I know you see he bad for your health. I just wonder what you thinking. I just wonder about your dreams, cause I know you got a few like Martin Luther King. I've never seen my dad since that day. All because I felt I was too weak to walk away. He took another man's life protecting me. Sometimes I cry about it. It's too hard to believe I let another human being destroy and abuse the person that I was. He belittled and accused. I should have took a stand. I should have grabbed a hand. I should have knew my worth. Now I'm telling you, you can.
Each year, approximately 1 in 4 adolescents reports verbal, physical, emotional, or sexual abuse. Approximately 1 in 5 adolescents reports being a victim of emotional abuse. Dating violence among their peers is reported by 54% of high school students. 1 in 3 teens report knowing a friend or peer who has been physically hurt by his or her partner through violent actions which included hitting, punching, kicking, slapping, and or choking. 80% of teens believe verbal abuse is a serious issue for their age group. Nearly 80% of girls who have been victims of physical abuse in their dating relationships continue to date the abuser. Nearly 20% of teen girls who have been in a relationship said that their boyfriend had threatened violence or self-harm in the event of a breakup. Nearly 70% of young women who have been raped knew their rapist. The perpetrator was or had been a boyfriend or casual acquaintance.
Hi everybody, my name is Dan Brown. I'm from Canada, and I brought my dad with me. Here today because, like Abigail was saying, feminists are no longer just women with hairy armpits; they're also now men with hairy armpits. And I'm very excited to be here today. Thank you so much for inviting me back. It's been frustrating as a young person I want to use film. Especially as a young person, to make a difference with issues that bother you. And sometimes I think we feel that these issues are separate, like somewhere else in the world, or they're not. We can't connect them with our own lives. And it takes a certain amount of courage and humbleness to realize where you are in life and how you can make changes in your own world and your own communities to make a difference and start there. So I present the award for the People's Choice, and it's something that does just that. It looks at not even just a community level. Sometimes that can just be in your own relationships, in your own life, and the lives of the people that you love. So congratulations to Adriana Jackson and Denise Sanchez for the People's Choice Award.
Congratulations, Adriana and Denise. So, 1 second. See, I'm not an actor like Ian is. I have to follow the script exactly. I'm not going to be guest starring anytime soon, huh? So this year, we partnered with the Dubai International Film Festival to present the DIF Prize for Advancing Women and Girls. Awarded to a student from the MENA or Asia regions, the DIF Prize offers a $5,000 scholarship.
Of this year's winning film, Judge Zainab Salbi wrote that it uniquely brings together the details about the way generations can relate to gender. I'm honored to present the DIF Prize to the film I Don't Want Grandma to Talk. Please join me in welcoming Jia Chen. If Jia Chen is in the room, please come down to receive the prize on behalf of filmmaker Yu Jun. We sent the certificate ahead of you. I apologize. Please send our regards. Enjoy the film.
抓到，快躲起来！来了，老鹰来了，快躲起来，躲起来，躲好嘞！小心点，小心点。老鹰，你走开，不许碰，不许碰我的宝宝，走开。
你像我这像大人这个年样的，像你不得了，像几乎的，用我的几乎的像，那个我你有娃子，给你有娃子，俺前些人民个两等那个小，都得那个讨厌不那个地方，千万都没人反应啊，是讲俺那个年轻的讲个是的，哎，不行，而且那个讨厌不那个19年几个，娃啥个当真不知。 我就把人到去不值得，就那个有点多个钱，有点多个钱就不值得个项目，就不值得项目就得到作用，就跟6年前那个，就话政府这话要比5万个4个，那个政府5到个4个就不有的，就话就不听懂，就话就说的，不得，俺些不话事，俺还得他外那个帮你讲，哇，你个品质要在意。
咦，在这里！咦，来，小心点嘞！咦，这里。
俺因为可以，俺是可以的。其他我们这些那个生意
啊，保护你！不见了，小姐姐不见了，老鹰快走开！不见了，老鹰呢？
我怎么不讲话了？
你娃呢？是一个比较独特的神奇的女性吧？好，你读了，你有你个记录保证一辈子，但是你的事业不嘞，一些滚让复苏的事业，然后你有些光让读了些，我以为是毛的。
哇！我用粉刺来 biu 你嘞吼！
我用粉刺 biu 你嘞！
我用粉刺嘞吼！
我用粉刺嘞！砰！
咦
This year, Girls Impact the World welcomed Ian Somerhalder as one of our finalist judges. You'll recognize Ian from the hit CW show Vampire Diaries and from his role on ABC's Lost. In addition to his acting career, Ian is also a devoted philanthropist. His foundation, the IS Foundation, aims to empower, educate, and collaborate with people and projects to positively impact the planet and its creatures.
We teamed up with Ian to create the Green IS Award to showcase the work and the accomplishments of women greening up the world, as well as environmental issues that can affect women. I also welcome to the stage Ian Somerhalder, Kim Klingler, the IS Foundation Executive Director, and Lila Igram, our Girls Impact the World co-founder.
I'm in a room full of girls. I have to do what you say.
Please sit in the middle.
Sure?
Thank you.
All right. Hi, everyone. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. Good evening. One thing I want to add just about Ian is, you know, we've gotten the fortune to be a part of his, you know, social media, I guess, team. When you tweet about Girls Impact the World and connect her, we get tons of love yous back, and love you, Ian.
Yay.
Love you, connect her. And I just wanted to say that your fans really connect with you, and really
They're powerful.
They love you, and they feel close to you. And I think that's just so unique and wonderful. And I hope that we can give, you know, people in the audience a glimpse of, you know, kind of the work that you're doing. The second thing is just your team. Kim and Katie and Jess, they're just phenomenal people. And I have to say the same about Abigail. Dominique, who I've worked with, is just incredible, and Constance, you know, Eloise is executive director. You know that our judges are all just super quality, compassionate people by the people that they have on their teams. So
The team, by the way, they are ISF. All of the things that you see come to life are them. Is this team of, and luckily or I don't know, unluckily for me, predominantly women. Lots of amazing, super empowered women. That the idea, and it's a lot what Abigail said, which is this, there is a connectivity that women have that, no offense to us dudes, far exceeds the connectivity that men have. And I can't quite quantify it. I can't quite put my finger on it, what it is. But something tells me the fact that women have this connection to the world, they bear life. They are, you know, it's so funny, men typically say, well, we're so much more pragmatic, women are so much more emotional. What the hell is that? Emotional, meaning they rationally use their feelings and their intellect to come up with an idea or an answer? Wow, that's so stupid. And so I think that due to that simple fact, I am so fortunate to be able to sit here with you guys and to have this sort of global connective tissue that is what makes up ISF, and also all of you. So, first of all, thank you. But thank you guys for elevating not only my life, but I really think that the 21st century is going to be the century where this shifts. I think this is the century of the chick. Do you know what I mean? And you guys sitting in this room, what's the old adage? Like, I think it's half of life is just showing up. 50% of life is just showing up. And you guys, gals, well, guys too, but there's like 5 of us, are showing up. And it's amazing to see. And it's all about the team. And I'm surrounded by a team. This woman and these women make this happen. And I am so grateful.
So we're going to start off by asking Ian a few questions.
Uh-oh.
The first one is you've said that young people have some of the most creative minds on the planet. And I just wonder if if that held true when you were judging the Girls Impact the World films, and if there were any in particular that stood out or that particularly inspired you.
No, absolutely. I mean, I think that it's so funny because this one and I and these two we talk 150 times a day. So when you're seeing something, you'll see we're watching and then we'll look at you. We always look at each other at about the same moment because it's so interesting that the same things we connect to. But absolutely, I think the unfiltered, raw creativity that's coming out of these films fuels, how would you call it? I guess hope. But it also fuels quantifiable change. I mean, that's the idea, right? Creating quantifiable global change using media. Every type of media, film, television, art, whatever it is. But creating it, going from an idea to an action. So even with the films you've made, you empower someone with information, right? Or you educate them with information. Now you've empowered them. And then ultimately they become activated. They act. You create an action. And watching these films inspires me now to go and dig deeper and to actually explore these issues, global social issues around the world that women are facing. Because let's face it, there are a lot of them. And the really cool thing about it is that it allows me to become, it allows and invokes a reaction in me, an activation in me. And I thank you for that. And I think that's incredible that we get to do this. But more importantly, or not more importantly, as an amendment to that, hold on, I want to remember this so I don't, this is far better than the scripts I have to say, so I want to make sure I get this. Oh, this is what it was. Also, too, because of these films, it lends it, or it gives these issues a name, a voice, a vision, a heart. It actually become, you see it in front of you, right? And so, and another thing is too, oh yeah, the call to action. Oh, and that's what it is. These things breathe life into these pivotal issues that women are facing globally. So please don't stop.
I'm so glad that you're stressing that point. I mean, I am so glad you're stressing that point because we have made it a point to just, ask the filmmakers to create, to show solutions to the problems. We get a lot of films that create awareness. And it's really difficult a lot of times to show solutions, but we're getting more and more of the students who are sending in films that show solutions, and we're just so excited about that.
It is exciting, and this is a lot what we want to create and what we're striving to create. Creating solution-based, or let me rephrase that, distributing solution-based information so that you can then activate solution-based reactions. I know it sounds like a mouthful, but it's the single, or I say one of the single most important things that you can do. I can't stress that enough. I really, really can't. Because here's the funny thing, and we've now experienced a lot of time. I spent a lot of time in places like Washington, D.C., and what I learn and what I realize is things move very slowly. Definitely. Very slowly. Yeah. And that can be good in some situations, but that can no longer happen. And people say, oh man, it's okay, it's just, it's a marathon, not a sprint. And it says, well, yeah, that's fine, but if it's a marathon, we need to pick up the pace because the social injustices are too grand. They're too grand. They're too great. They're too vast. But then it also ties back into our quote-unquote environment, even though it's not really an environment. It's the same biological process as us, because we know statistically that an empowered, educated woman in a household doubles the GDP, quote, of that particular household. Therefore, doubling the GDP of that community, that state, that province, that country, then ultimately that continent. Do you see what I mean? Do you see how it exponentially grows and grows and grows? And it can start with one film. It can start with a middle-aged woman who's threatening to take off her clothes and scare her general, our lieutenant husband that may or may not have killed 25,000 people. These are the things that it takes one, listen, it takes one spark to start a gigantic forest fire.
So we're going to shift course on questions a little bit, but if you haven't seen Pray the Devil Back to Hell, the film, you have to see it. It's just an incredible, amazing film. My husband and I got to watch it together, and it will just blow your mind. It blow you away. So.
By the way, Abigail, thank you for that amazing, immense amount of passion and information. I think all of us are pretty blown away and
incredible.
Inspired. Thank you, thank you, thank you. These are the women you want to be listening to, that you want to be like, trust me.
She should definitely be president.
Yes. I will vote for you.
Me too. There
would be such a disorganization.
That's okay. You'll have a cabinet to organize everything.
You have a male secretary.
We're really pragmatic, apparently.
So tonight we saw the Brave New Beauty Award, Jordan's film Broken Beauty, which was, I just think it's incredible.
Congrats.
It talks about and deals with perceptions of female beauty. Since you're in the entertainment industry, do you see when females are limited due to their gender or stereotyped due to their gender? I mean, do you notice that at all? And if so, do you ever think about solutions or from an industry standpoint of how that can be rectified?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think you guys can all agree, or at any point you disagree, tell me, because I think in this particular arena, we tend to become fixated on the problems as opposed to the solutions. And what I mean by that is what we need, or no, let me rephrase that. Not what we need to do. What seems like the best thing to do would be to restructure and redefine and emphasize value in women. Value is, I think, the operative word. If you can find value, meaning your intense passions connected with your talent, I think that's really kind of what value means. What do you value inside of yourself? Here's the thing, guys. I'll be completely honest with you. I was in the fashion business for a long time, since I was 10, from 10 to 20. And when I reached my teens, particularly late teens, and I was working a lot and working with really big designers and really caught up in this crazy, very superficial world, I was like the kid in the corner reading, philosophy and looking up at these people going, oh my gosh, this is so scary. Because at the end of the day, here's what happens. You have an entire society, I mean globally, but let's just start in this country. Teenagers, late teenagers, 20s, 30s, middle-aged women, moms, doing this. Flipping through a magazine and seeing a model and saying, wow, she fits so well into that thing. What she's not real, and then looking at herself in the mirror and saying, wow, I wouldn't fit in that. But my husband looks at that, or my boyfriend, or everyone who walks by the stands looks at this. Well, here's the gag, guys. After that photo was taken, before it went to a photo editor, it was sent to a guy in a lab, and he photoshopped it. And he goes, you know what? Take a little bit off the arm, a little bit off the inner thigh. Let me shave that hip a little bit. It's anatomically impossible. So wait a minute. But how is this distributed globally and accepted as the idea of beauty? It makes no sense. You're chasing a ghost, an idea of what you think is aesthetic beauty. Everyone is. We are all victim to it. It doesn't make any sense. So now you're using all this precious mental function, emotional function, physical function, striving to achieve something you can't. That doesn't really add up, does it? So I think if we can restructure and redefine, when you look in the mirror, find the value. Don't look at, some magazine and say, wow, man, she really fits into that couture gown. Who cares? It's not what's in here. And I think, it really gets me all hot and a little angry when I think about it, because I've just seen it, and we've all seen it. I think, I can't remember statistically, don't quote me on it, but something it's hundreds and hundreds of thousands of cases of bulimia happen and anorexia happen in this country every year. So you figure it's tens of thousands a month.
I just want to add that I think that you confuse the concept of beauty or the word beauty with sexuality. And I think if we removed that connection, we would see really what is beautiful. And what's beautiful is watching Abigail talk authentically and powerfully and intellectually and creatively, and all of these films that these girls have put out, where that came from, that came out of them, that's beauty. Everything you see in a magazine is sexuality. And I think if we could just get over that hump, we'd see a bit of a shift.
Yeah, yes, thank you. See? I honestly think that it is a global shift of consciousness. That's the only way we're going to evolve, ladies. And it starts with you, because you're the target. All this stuff is targeted at you, and it's hitting you in the face and in the heart and the eyes, and it's on billboards, it's on television, it's in magazines. So dig deeper and just let what's in here and in here come out.
Okay, Ian, I apologize. I actually have to ask this question.
Uh-oh. Yes, I will marry you. See, that's passion. That guy is going to kick my butt when we leave here, and it's going to be awesome.
He's been working out.
I know he has. I see it, man.
So I think that women and girls should absolutely define their own beauty. Absolutely.
That's a good idea.
However, inquiring minds want to know what you find beautiful in a woman.
By the way, hey, listen, it honestly is the simplest thing in the world. It's exactly what Kim was just talking about. That passion and the fire that I'm watching in this room repeatedly over and over and over again, that's what's beautiful. That is what draws you in and makes you say, wow. Or when I've been looking around and we're watching these movies, if you look around, you're drawn in. And that is what is beautiful. It honestly is. That's what just, great. Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah. So the next question is about men and boys. And one thing is we love when men and boys submit films to the film festival, because we absolutely think that they have to be a part of this conversation.
Yes.
It's like when you read the statistics, I think it's 90% plus, but the vast majority of violence against women comes from somewhere, right? It comes from men.
It comes from men.
So how do you think we can get more young men and boys? I mean, look, we have like 5 men in this room. Dan, actually, who presented the People's Choice Award, was in the top 15 films last year.
Awesome. Congrats, man.
Yeah, he did a film on sexual assault, and they're actually using his film in a college course in Canada. So. So how do you think more men and boys could get involved in this?
It's a good question. It's an interesting thing that happens that I watch even with myself when I'm around a bunch of you guys, particularly in a room like this where I'm surrounded and outnumbered and I'm forced to think of how I could mentally and emotionally battle my way out. Moving on. I've had some incredible mentorships, and a lot of my passions and a lot of the ability for me to do what I'm doing right now came from women. I would say I single-handedly have had more opportunity presented to me, never given, but presented to me by women. The women, the mentors in my life, have been extraordinary. I think that guys, in particular, man, teen guys in particular, but men have to be a part of this conversation. And I know a lot of girls have boyfriends, or they have friends that are guys. What I would be so curious to ask you guys is to ask any of your guy friends or your boyfriends, dads, uncles, whatever, a question, something like, oh man, I had this whole cool thing I wanted to talk about. Because I heard a girl ask this young guy this, and his answer was just amazing. And it was to the effect of, what do you see, like, what do you value in me? Like, literally, have a guy sit there and look at you, and not, oh, that's a nice shirt, or, wow, you're really pretty. No, what do you see in me, man? What is it about me? Hey, I'm your girlfriend, or I'm your friend. What is that? And really listen. And make him open up to that. But I also think that the education process, that men are a huge part of this world, obviously. And unfortunately for me, honestly, they control too much. They control too much, and they have for way, way, way too long. But I beg you to ask a guy that you're really close to, someone you're, really close to. Ask him what he sees in you, not in a superficial sense, but really like what's important to him.
I love that. That's
It was the cool. I watched this
really
girl
cool.
ask this kid this boy, and it was amazing to see this kid, young man, I should say, really look at his girlfriend and start pulling out all these amazing qualities about her. And it was in one of the films. Oh no, it was in yours, Jordan. It was at the end of the movie. It says she was beautiful to begin with. Yeah. Let her know.
Yeah.
And I think that boys and men, although we act like boys a lot of the time, I think if you can really, you know it, buddy. You know what I'm saying. You got to keep it fresh, man. But really empower. I mean, guys, I'm telling you, man. Really empower your friends to really dig a lot deeper, and start leveling with yourself and realizing that, listen, and it's not a race. It's not I'm better than you. Women, statistically, they learn faster. They're getting better grades than we are. They're finishing colleges much higher where we are. The pay scales aren't the same yet, but I guarantee you they're going to level out pretty soon. Guess what, dudes? Women are about to kick our butts. In an educational sense, globally, there are so many new jobs, whether it's computer science, whether it's engineering, architecture, agriculture. They're coming. And I beg you to embrace it and learn from them and really, really, really understand the value of what's in front of you, because they're amazing.
Thank you. So you spoke a little about having female mentors, a lot of female. Can you just expand on that a little bit and talk about some of your female mentors? Or?
Oh, wow. I mean, wow. I mean, some of them are sitting in this room. My mother took everything we had and put it, moms, they look at their kids and they see things. They say, I know this kid, I know what this kid needs. And she spent every dollar we had to get me into acting classes and stuff when I was about 10. While all my buddies were, football camp and beating the crap out of each other, I was like, doing scenes from movies or Shakespeare or something. But and also, too, she was from an agriculture background, and we grew up in this really tiny ecosystem in southeast Louisiana, which I learned a lot about the balance of life, and from this really amazing holistic place that my mother was coming from. And it really set me on a path in life to be drawn to and seek out women like my mother, who were wildly empowered women, who had this amazing innate ability to level with you and share and say, listen, there is an amazing balance in life. And you have to find that balance not only within you, but in your community. And give back to it and empower everyone around you. Pick up, just little things. Pick up the trash, turn off the light, know the dog does not have to watch TV while you're gone all day. Little things like that, but that really build you up as a man, or as a boy, or as a girl, into a woman. I've had management. Most of my team are all women, and they tell me what to do all day. No, I'm joking. They actually empower the hell out of me, and I would not I'm not even joking. I would not be sitting here in this room without these three women right here.
I want to throw something really quickly in here. It kind of hits on both points. So later. So Ian's mom is a total being. She's completely whole. She grasps both yin and yang, female, male, all the forces that are out there. And she instilled this and helped him connect in his own way to the world at large and the world within, naturally, as a mother.
We need to meet your mom.
She's stunningly beautiful. But you asked a question of Ian, how can we have more men involved? And we keep saying there were 5 men in this room, and there are 21 men in this room. And that is a big difference from 5 to 21. Yeah. And I just want to say really quickly that if you want to see men making a great impact in the future, start raising your children with everything you've learned here. Instantaneous change. That's all I have to say.
That's good. So we've seen the intersection, and I mean, probably forever, of green issues with women's issues. When you think about women having to carry water for hours and sacrificing their education, think about cook stoves. Women many times cook on unclean, stoves, and it causes so many problems for the family. So many environmental issues and women's issues overlap. So I just would love for you guys to explain a little bit about what the Ian Somerhalder Foundation does, and then we'll explain a little bit about the Green Is Prize that we came up with.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, look, here's the thing, and it's an interesting point. So we get to work with a lot of amazing people all over the world, and what we've learned is, working with everyone from elementary students to high school kids, what we learned from these young people, this new generation, is that very young, they have these very intense goals and talents. And they are highly motivated, and they are highly active. And like in the United States, I mean, we have some of the most brilliant minds in the world here. And what you find is that they're still seeking. They want more knowledge. They want more information. The problem is in a lot of places in the world, a lot of women are not given the chance to educate themselves because they're doing things like gathering water all day. There are systems in place, and we need to develop the organizations and the programs to allow these women to have this time to educate themselves. Like I said before, and I learned this when Kim and I were in Africa 2 years ago in Botswana, we learned from this amazing scientist, this guy is literally Father Earth, that literally an empowered woman, educated woman, doubles the productivity of a household. Therefore, think about what that does to the world. It's unbelievable. It's exponential. It just never stops growing. So that's one component of it. And I want to get the other component of it. which is what we achieve to do in the very near future, which is you're not going to get a lot of sleep. But we created this thing called the U factor, the letter U. Sorry, I don't want to call it U. No, I'm good. It's called the U factor, the letter U in factor. And what it literally is aimed at unlocking potential and passion. Ooh, can I have that? In young people. Let me tell you something. This program, we did this pilot that was so powerful. First of all, I cried like a little girl. I could not.
Cried like a man. Like
Oh, sorry.
You cried like a boy.
I cried like a boy. Actually, an amazing thing, I was with a bunch of UN people last year in Brussels, and this guy, we were at this dinner, and he said behind every great man is a good woman. And I said, whoa, sir. I said, you might want to rephrase that and sort of rethink that and maybe create the language that next to every great man is an even better woman. Because, and it's true. And it's honestly, it's little stupid things like that. We grow up hearing, oh, I was crying like a little girl. No, she just threw it to me. You're crying like a man. There was not a dry eye in this thing. And actually watching you ladies, these young people were sitting in this room, all the way, 6 to 18 or something, these young people in this room. 7 years old. And they're looking at these booklets and to unlock this passion, to show them what is it that makes you tick? What is it that makes the sun come up and go down twice without ever you even knowing time existed? And on one page, they write down everything they're afraid of. And I mean, you have 7-year-olds writing down like global poverty, climate change, abuse, racial inequality. I mean, that's awesome. It's incredible. And then the next page, they're writing down all their values, what they value about themselves, what they really think is value about themselves. And they're plugging it all in together. And at the end of it, they realize, holy cow, this is who I am. This is what I'm good at. This is what I'm afraid of. And all of a sudden, you start seeing all this potential, like coming out, this like unleashing this potential in these young people. And you're sitting there, and we're all sitting there like, because it's so powerful. And this program, we are, I mean, giddy about. We're beyond excited, and I think it's really going to be a massive, and I know this is such a like cliche word to use now, game changer. It's going to unlock so much passion.
Where can people learn about that?
They can visit the website.
Okay.
I'm going to add one more thing in. Ian was talking about the next generation, Generation Z. And I found it really interesting. They, always they, the outside world, they did a survey. And we're trying to understand this generation because a lot of my parents and then my generation see Generation Z as lazy. That you guys don't want to do anything. You have no work ethic. You don't want to do anything but sit on your stupid phones. When interestingly enough, the number one thing Generation Z is after is a career in something that matters.
Oh my God, my daughter is the most ultra-driven person in the world. She is like the farthest thing from lazy.
And U Factor attempts to provide a platform for kids to start figuring out what matters and how they can play a role in that matterment forward.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible.
So we're so excited to announce the Green is capital I, capital S, standing for Ian Somerhalder Award. And the way it happened, it was so funny. I was at a conference here at Harvard, and I was sitting next to someone from the Harvard Office of Sustainability, and she was like, hey, would you guys want to green up the film festival? And I was like, oh, that sounds like a great idea. And then literally 3 weeks later, my husband and I were in Austin, Texas at the the Social Good Summit there, and Ian and his team were there speaking. So I contacted Kim, and I was like, hey, what do you think about maybe doing something together? We just shot some ideas back and forth, and we came up with it together. We came up with the Green Is
Pretty cool.
Award to offer, to have students submit a 3 to 5 minute film on an issue that, was related to women and the environment. And in particular, we're always, after solution-based films, but creating awareness about a woman who is greening up the world, or someone who's combining the women's issues with green issues. So that's kind of how this all came about. And we're going to have Ian and Katie and Kim announce who the runner-up and winner are. So,
very cool.
Cool. Let me get you the awards.
Guys, thank you so much for allowing us to be here and inviting us and sharing all this stuff. It's so awesome. It really is. Thank you. Am I in your good graces, sir? Yes. Exactly.
So here is the first runner-up.
Very, very, very cool.
And the Ian Somerhalder Foundation chose the winners. So they were super involved in the process. They viewed all of the films.
Come here, guys.
And they're going to go ahead and present the award.
Yes. The Girls Impact the World Festival presents Sarah Kahn with a $500 Green Is Award. First runner-up. Where are you? And this lovely lady made quite a trip to come here. Where did you come from?
I came from Pakistan, so 14 hours.
Her film was called Harvesting Hope.
What was it called?
Her film was called Harvesting Hope, and it was about female cotton pickers in Pakistan.
Listen to this, guys. It's pretty incredible. It
and
goes.
all of the the issues, the health issues that they face. I mean, just terrible health issues from picking cotton. And she did a film and highlighted an organic farmer, a female organic farmer, who was trying to provide a solution to this problem and doing a very good job.
Because basically, all the chemicals go into and they develop all these health problems, and the money they're making, they're spending to fix themselves and get healthy again. Yeah. So they're never not gonna be impoverished. And so if they were just to use organic, non-chemical based farming methods, all of a sudden, oh, hey, these women all of a sudden have some dough. They can do things with it. They can educate themselves. They can feed. Go ahead.
Yeah. I just like to say something. First of all, I'd like to say I'm so thrilled to receive this award. And I'd like to thank everyone in Pakistan who's working to advance women, who's promoting sustainable development, organic farming. I'd like to thank my mother, who, if you look over there, she's holding a camera and also her phone. And I'd just like to say thank you to the IS Foundation and Connect Her for giving me the opportunity to highlight an issue I'm so passionate about. And I'd just like to end by saying that the planet is so truly remarkable and magnificent, and it's worth fighting for.
And then now we're going to present the winner.
Hey, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Don't slap me. It was just a hand. Actually, I want to get the pronunciation of the name. Because even when Wow, that's beautiful. So, the Girls Impact the World Film Festival presents. It's a beautiful name, but every time I've tried to do it, I try to do this in the mirror like 5 times.
The Girls Impact the World and the Ian Somerhalder.
And the IS Foundation, of course. Present to Iwani Zo Ma Zhao Zo, yeah, Zoe Ma Mo Wo Chung. Wow, it's an incredible name. I've gotten it wrong every time. But not here, right? No, she couldn't. So she left some words for us. But it's this $2,500 award.
Yeah, these are her words.
These are her words. You read it.
Be her. I'm going to try. But she sent these along. And my name is Iwani Zoe Mowocha. Iwani comes from the Kalanga tribe, meaning speak out and listen. Zoe is of Greek origin, meaning life. So if my name were a prophecy, it would be to speak out and listen to life. When I was 16 years old and reading Saltwater Girl magazine, I came across a feature of Ian Somerhalder. It highlighted all the brilliant initiatives he had done, from the Trevor Project to the IS Foundation. I've admired and respected him since, and this was much to the amusement of my peers, as I had never even watched the Vampire Diaries. I was simply in awe of his passion for environmental sustainability. I would never have fathomed that I would be receiving an award from his very same foundation a mere 3 years later. I'm both honored and grateful to be able to showcase my videographic work and to promote Mustard Seed Africa on such a prestigious international platform. I thank God every day for opening up both of these platforms for me to be able to explore, learn, share, create, speak out, and listen. I would now like to thank Connectar, the Green Ian Somerhalder Foundation, and the other sponsors and respected judges for this incredible opportunity. Lila, Ara, and Carrie, I have said before, what you have created and what you are doing has such a profound impact on so many young women. Thank you for making so many of our voices heard, and thank you for giving me a chance to speak out. Ian Somerhalder, aside from all of your laudable accomplishments, the environmental work that you do is undoubtedly inspiring. I humbly accept this award, and thank you all from the depths of my heart. I hope someday that I will actually be able to meet all 4 of you, and thank you in person. Majita Giabonga. Thank you.
Nice job.
Thank you.
Amazing. Thank you.
Very much.
Thank you. Thank you. Are those? Oh.
These things, God. You can tell how old I am because I can't. I'm not old enough to wear bifocals, but I'm old enough to carry these around everywhere I go.
25, man.
Yeah.
Guys, thank you for this honor and this experience, and I can't wait to do it again. Truly.
Over 3 billion of the world's population lives below $1.25 per day. Approximately 49% of those people are in sub-Saharan Africa. Within this region is a small monarchy called Swaziland. Swaziland has the highest prevalence of HIV/AIDS in the world and ranks 141st on the Human Development Index. 63% of the population currently lives below the line of poverty. In Swaziland, which ranks 112th in gender equality, females often hold a much lower position in society. Often in the rural areas, the women have to act as breadwinners for their entire family. In this male-dominated society, women suffer the most, and it's very difficult for them to earn an income.
Over several generations, women have used handcrafts as a means of earning an income. And particularly in Africa, mothers take it upon themselves to teach their children how to knit, to sew, to carve, to weave, and that's passed on with each generation. And USAID actually describes handcrafts as a unique expression of a particular culture or community through local craftsmanship and materials. In many regions of the world, handcraft is the second largest sector of rural employment after agriculture.
But what comes to mind when you think of handcrafts? In this part of the world, most people think cheap stone or wooden carvings sold on the roadside. In some cases, this is true. The handcraft industry is dominated by self-employed women who unfortunately don't possess business knowledge and are hampered by their lack of contacts. They have to rely on passing tourists and locals for their income.
The reality is that many women are unable to keep up with the frequently changing market trends. Being out in the rural areas, women don't have access to the internet, to magazines, to any information that can guide them as to what is trending. And without this marketing knowledge, they are at a significant disadvantage when it comes to selling their products to international markets.
And that's where we come in.
My name's Gail Mawocha.
My name is Iwani Mawocha and I'm 18 years old. In 2010, we co-founded Mustard Seed Africa, which is a community development initiative aimed at social and economic empowerment for women at the grassroots level. Our organization has coordinated projects that have impacted over 2,000 female handcraft artisans in Swaziland and Zimbabwe collectively. Our aim is to promote handcrafts and change the perception that they are not cheap curios, but that they can be transformed into projects that won't just keep up with trends, but set them. Mustard Seed Africa strives to empower women by coordinating sustainable development initiatives to establish self-sufficiency. We take a holistic approach, looking at the entire value chain to ensure sustainable practices.
Our motto is invest in a woman, invest in a community. Because women use their income to raise the standards of living for their entire family. Women use this income to educate, to feed, to clothe their families within the community, many of whom are orphans as a result of the HIV/AIDS pandemic. In Africa, women are the backbone of society.
We use handcrafts as a tool for poverty alleviation and work hand in hand with various organizations and the artisans themselves, women with incredible stories and a wealth of knowledge that has been passed down through generations. We don't go in with the savior mentality because the women don't need handouts. Unlike the popular saying, they already know how to fish. What they need is a hand up. This includes access to markets, technology, and fair trade.
Over the years, we've initiated a project called the Rural to Ramp Handcraft Showcase, which is a platform that we use to partner designers and handcraft artisans to develop high-end products. Through this collaboration, we promote innovation, creativity, product development, and marketing.
We push artisans beyond their boundaries whilst preserving indigenous knowledge to create products that are African by inspiration and contemporary in design.
The Handcraft Showcase is actually a sold-out event, and it's attended by local and international audiences who come to experience craft couture in the textiles, basketry, weaving and carving.
The groups we work with use ethically sourced raw materials with sustainability in mind, including products like beeswax, rose geranium and marula oils, lutinzi, sisal and ilala grasses, and clay. Recycled products such as paper, plastic and metal, and alternative sources like cow horn and seeds are also used. The proceeds from the Handcraft Showcase are then used for Mustard Seed Africa's Health and Wellness Day, where over 500 artisans have received free eye testing and glasses, HIV education and breast cancer education.
We are proud to play a role in promoting our women artisans and truly believe in the capability of our continent.
This is one of the ways that women and girls can impact the world.
Now, we'd like to screen for you the winner of the Cisco's Most Innovative Solution Award, She++. Unfortunately, Ina and Alora could not be here with us tonight, but their film was an incredibly powerful testimony to the power of education in bringing women to the table. Enjoy.
Women don't like the image of computer science. Women don't like feeling like, they're a woman in computer science.
Nationally, we've seen the rates of women's participation fall, and that's very scary.
In school at Stanford, they do a reasonable job, but I was still the only girl in a couple of my classes. We're not talking classes of 20, we're talking classes of 120.
I think this is actually really a Rosie the Riveter moment, and that is that women are the great untapped bench. If you just look at the numbers, and they're super simple, let's say that women are 60% of undergraduates, they're 20% of computer science majors. Imagine a hypothetical computer science department with 100 students each year. At 20%, women are 20 of those, men are 80 of those. If we simply took women to their appropriate proportion of undergraduates, which is 60%, for every 40 men, there would be 60 women. For those 80 men, there would be 120 women. That would be 200 students, not 100. So if women were just represented proportionally, we would double the number of software engineers this nation is making every year, and that would be timely because the number of jobs is tripling.
My name is Tracy Chow, and I am a software engineer at Pinterest.
My name is Siobhan Albert, and I work at Microsoft.
I'm Jocelyn Goldfein, and I'm a director of engineering at Facebook.
We're building a product for people to share the things that will inspire them and hopefully get them out and doing things.
I was terrified to take the introductory computer science class.
At least known by some as a weeder class, so it was a little bit more difficult.
The expectation was, if you're studying computer science, you must have used this before.
And there were some guys in the class who had just been programming all their lives, and I had not even touched a computer until 1998.
I thought I was failing that class the entire way through.
I spent a lot of time thinking that I just wasn't qualified for this. I hadn't been coding since I was 12, and my classmates, several of them had.
There's some very good statistics, some done here at Stanford, that show that when women don't succeed at first, they blame themselves, and men blame the course or the test. So that a woman who gets a B+ thinks she's doing horribly, and a man who gets a B+ thinks they're doing fine.
It's a very creative field, and it enables you to do so many different things.
And I think making all the choices that make you happy every day is probably the thing that'll get you closest to eventually recognizing your full potential.
They can affect the world very positively. They can build products that are used by millions of people.
And it's actually really dramatically changing the way the world functions.
You can have an idea or a concept, and you yourself can build it and make it a reality.
Like, it really is about making something that you're proud of and making something that, you wanted to make and that was hard to make and that you did make. And I think that was kind of my proudest moment because that was the first time I can really look back and be like, I did that.
We'll now screen our final top 3 film, The Spring Storm.
Tới cả 3 ខែទៅម្ដងនេះឈុតសធម្មតាចាខ្ញុំស្មោះជាសុភ័ក្រគឺសិកោមកនៅតាំងពីអាយុ15ខ្ញុំទៅរៀនបាន1ឆ្នាំហើយឥឡូវខ្ញុំអាយុ34ហើយពុកខ្ញុំហ្នឹងណាគាត់ចាប់លោកខ្ញុំឲ្យមកតង់គ្រូការដល់ទៅអាយុម៉ានចានោះ អាយុ10 ឆ្នាំគាត់និយាយប្រាប់ម៉ែខ្ញុំថាចង់មានអារម្មណ៍មួយខ្ញុំភ័យណាថ្ងៃនោះភ័យខ្លួនឯងហក់ពីលើផ្ទះនេះដល់ពេលរួចទៅផងចាប់បងស្រីតែបងស្រីក៏រួចហើយមកចាប់មីពៅភ័យវាលឺថាអូយចាប់បងអញស្លាប់បាត់ហើយមនុស្សលីពួយទីងស្វឹងយកមកគ្របលើក្បាលដល់ពេលរួចទៅដល់ឃើញខ្ញុំធ្លាក់ឈាមតាខ្ញុំបាត់មកបាត់កបងប្រុសយកមកពេទ្យម៉ែបើបងឯងគាត់ឃើញថាបងពីនោះគាត់คุยពុកឯងចាប់ចុះចាគាត់ឈឺដេញនឹងកទេហ្នឹងគាត់ងើបអត់រួចផងហ្នឹងអស់ពីឈឺទៅលឺឪពុកខ្ញុំចាប់លោបខ្ញុំគាត់ចងកងប់ខ្លួនឯងតាំងនោះមកខ្ញុំភ័យខ្លួនខ្ញុំមកដល់នេះគេវាយធ្វើបាបខ្ញុំទៀតគេយកមកបងចាបងថ្លៃខ្ញុំបងថ្លៃខ្ញុំយកខ្ញុំមកលក់ហ្នឹងគាត់ចង់បានលុយ100ហ្នឹងដើម្បីលុយយកប្អូនមកលក់ហើយមុនដំបូងមិនថាយកមកលក់ឯងគាត់ថាខ្ញុំលាងចានស្អីលាងចានថ្ងៃហ្នឹងសែកឡើងឲ្យគ្នាធ្វើស្អីខោចឹងអត់ផងហើយមានប្រាគេដឹងថាបងថ្លៃបងឯងយកមកលក់អត់មានតែបងប្រុសខ្ញុំឯងដឹងថាបងថ្លៃខ្ញុំយកខ្ញុំមកលក់អញ្ចឹងគាត់ធ្លាប់មកជួយអីហ៎បង
So this is the moment we've all been waiting for. The grand prize winner will win a $5,000 scholarship, the runner-up a $2,500 scholarship, and the second runner-up a $1,000 scholarship.
You previously saw our top 3 films, A Chance, Point B, and The Spring Storm. We would like to invite our finalist judge, Eloise DeJoria, to present the grand prize awards. Eloise is a veteran film and TV actress. Her film credits include The Weekend at Bernie's, Don't Mess with the Zohan, Wall Street, Money Never Sleeps, and most recently, Angels Sing. She is widely recognized as the spokesmodel for Paul Mitchell Hair Care Products, the company her husband, John Paul DeJoria, co-founded. As an actress and public figure, Eloise uses her platform to help people find their voice and tell their stories, whether through recovery programs like the Arbor in Austin, or support of the arts through film festivals like Girls Impact the World. Eloise is passionate about helping people live healthy and fulfilled lives. Please join me in welcoming her. I'm going to give this to you so you know.
Hi, everyone. Yes, it has been an amazing night, and I just think that film is so powerful, and it's so for me, I love it. And it's great being John Paul's wife, you know, and the spokesperson, you know, person for Paul Mitchell. And the fruits we benefit from Patron Tequila, we get to help people all around the world. And I tell you what, when Constance, the girl that runs our charity, our family charity, brought this girl Impact the World to me, and she said, you know, Eloise, this is your love for film and your experience in life, because when I was a young girl, I was raised with a father that graduated Yale. My mother was an artist, yet she couldn't talk because she had issues when she was young. They had did electric shock treatment to her, so she never talked. I never had a mother that said, how are you, or are you okay, or how's you? And I was a straight A student, and I would watch my mother do these all different types of art medium. So fast forward to, and my dad was very naive. He was Yale, but he was naive. He was born in Kansas, raised in Kansas in 1913. So we're in the late 1960s now, and my brother is selling pot out of the maid's quarters, and we're in a really nice home and everything. And then I end up dating the hottest guy in the area, very young. He had blue eyes, dark hair, but he was, but he had a problem. He was an alcoholic. Fast forward, I got pregnant at very young, 15. I got married. My family's very Christian. There was no choices. I didn't even know there was other choices, you know, to stay home and take care of a child or anything. And he was also dealt heroin. So I was in this beautiful neighborhood and all this, but I'm married to this man. I get married. We go to our little apartment, a one-bedroom apartment, and he's there. He comes home and he hits me really hard in the eye. And so I've got this huge black eye, and I'm like 8 months pregnant, and I don't want to tell anybody anything because my mother didn't talk. I mean, she literally couldn't. It wasn't that, you know, she had any, just some mental issues. And so I just went through this 8 years of, you know, really, so a lot, I can relate to everything, a lot of the things that these girls are taking their voice, and for me to see these girls that are not in my situation that are helping so many other people, you know I'm passionate about this. So I feel I want to be married to this project for sure, and I'm really going to help, you know, because, I mean, to me, film was magical to me. When I went to college, and I did well there, I didn't stay long, and I saw film, and I saw people changing within their scripts. I do better with the script, really, and then Deepa, she cast me in a movie that I played a heroin addict. And it's not out yet. It's called Periphery. She's brilliant. I love her. I connected with her, and this is like that stands up, you know, for the fight against drugs. It's a really good film. It has a good ending. It's a really good message. But anyways, you'll have to find out the rest of my story, and that one of you guys do my film. That's what. But I'm really going to support. I really want to support the next generation, and it's amazing to me that you guys are so intelligent and have the means and the support of the schools and, you know, everybody around you, the resources to do these messages. It's gonna hit so many people, and I'm gonna, you know, and I'm really behind it too. So hopefully I can help, and I'm really honored to be here at Harvard. So my dad would be up there; he'd be smiling down at me. Okay, we are gonna first. Leela, did you want to come on? Okay. Second runner-up. Okay, Girls Impact the World presents Pauline Lai, and she's with the 1,000 second runner-up prize, and she is not here able to collect this right now, so we'll send it to her. Oh, he. Oh. Yeah, so that's the one we just saw. It's an amazing film, Spring Storm. So obviously that movie really touched me emotionally, and I'm sure it did everyone, so we'll know that. Okay, so I don't know if Ian wants to come up and help me give some of these awards away, and yeah, and we're gonna, no. And what is this? Is the first runner-up. First runner-up. Okay, $25,000. $2,500. $2,500. I've been around John Paul too long. Sorry. $2,500,000.
You write the check.
I gotta do some, like, you know. So we get John Paul to get that, but okay. So
this is to Sarah Gale.
This is what's
Miss Sarah Gale.
Yes. This the
Abby and Ara and Carrie, I'll need to get a picture together.
Okay.
Congratulations, woman. Am I coming in this? Get over here, ladies. Get over here, ladies. Oh, you have like a... Actually, this might be better, yeah. Unless you have like a 20 millimeter lens. Or do you want to go up there, maybe? You want to go over there? That might help. Just go in the middle. Nice. Ready? Hi, guys. Yeah, one more. Do one more for Spike. Nice. Thank you.
That's awesome, though.
Who? Did this work?
Okay.
Grand prize.
The grand prize. Catherine.
Wow, this is so cool.
Harhide, right?
Yeah. Where is she? Watch out for this thing.
So Catherine did. So Catherine
So cool.
made point B, which all the judges absolutely loved. Point
Yes.
B. It was
Hey.
so creative. It was awesome.
Here, let me give her this. Here. Sure. This is an even better check. That's an even better check. Come here, guys. Get in here. Get over here. Yeah. Wait. Digital technology. Wow. Sorry. Hey.
The stage is yours.
Hey guys, I'm not even part of the program anymore, but I just want to say, because we're all going to split up, that I think that something like this, I am so excited to lend every ounce of ability that we have to make things like this continue, and just strive, do more, empower your friends, your girlfriends, your boyfriends, your cow friends, I don't care. Keep creating these films, keep creating these messages. Good night.
Oh, sorry. I was like, oh, that was good. It's the big check. It does something too. You just like feel all around, just like I've done my job. Okay, so Lila will be presenting the closing remarks.
I don't know if I'm going to do the glasses on, glasses off thing or not, so bear with me a little bit. Okay, so in closing, I'm going to do a little bit personal and, a little bit about Connector and a little bit about the film festival. So let me get the right notes here. It was about 25 years ago when I graduated from college, And I didn't really know exactly what I wanted to do professionally, but you know, I worked a couple of jobs, and then I got married and started having kids. And I knew then when I started having kids that I wanted to spend like every second I could with those little guys and gal, because family is really important to me, and I just love them to death. And they're just exceptional kids, and I just loved and cherished every single second. My husband and I have a saying that our kids are coolness and comfort to our eyes, and that's exactly what they are. Sometimes, not all the times. At the same time as raising my kids, I had a secret fantasy. The fantasy was every single, you know, I mean, I just read every single issue of Fast Company. And Fast Company at that time, that magazine, had a lot of like social innovation articles and highlighted business leaders. And I just would read every single issue and just fantasize about how could I be one of those people that are making a difference in the world, that's doing something to create change. And so when my kids got older, I worked for a couple of nonprofits, and then I just started Connect Her. And what I love about Connect Her is that the projects that we do are really effective in impacting people who really need the help. So for example, Connect Her is a crowdfunding platform, and we raise funds for projects that are providing services to women and children in developing communities. And what we really do is if we're raising funds for a project in Pakistan, we want the person who's running the project to be Pakistani, because they know their culture, they know their community, they know their environment, they know the religion. They can be so much more effective on the ground. So we partner with these organizations and nonprofits, and we have been so successful in raising funds for these projects. One of the ones we just did was from Somaliland, and it's a woman there who is reducing the infant and child mortality rate in Somaliland by training midwives. And she's perfect because she grew up there. She knows the culture, she knows the community, and it just works out so perfectly. And then it's through Connect Her, me, Carrie, and Ara got the chance to start the Girls Impact the World Film Festival. And we use the same model where, you know, you saw Rural to Ramp. This is a girl from Swaziland who is basically telling her story about how she can better help her community in Swaziland. And that's perfect because that's where she's from. She knows everything about the culture. And that's what we want to get more of. So that has been really incredible. And Ara and Carrie have just been phenomenal. They're just like so amazing to work with. I mean, we worked together for 2 years, and we really haven't had a hiccup. It's just been excellent. But how can it not work? We have 2 type A's and 1 extremely laid-back person. So they, you know, they're pretty good about kind of reeling me back in sometimes, and that's like really necessary. I suspect there's a lot of really type A, highly driven people in this room, Harvard students. My husband actually calls me a selective perfectionist. He says and I think that's a lot easier than being like a full-time perfectionist. So, you know, so just what we're really trying to do is highlight and invest in change makers like Catherine and like, you know, Jordan and like Iwani and Sarah and, you know, everybody who is putting out, just pouring their passions and abilities and showcasing change makers and change through film. And if you look at what Rebecca's doing, I mean, it's just a perfect, we couldn't ask for like a better role model and example. Her film won International Boulevard for Sex Trafficking in Oakland, California last year. And, you know, I mean, she didn't just let her film sit in a gallery and just, you know, hide it away. She used her film to rejuvenate efforts in Oakland to fight sex trafficking. And I mean, like, that's what it's all about. You know, people taking their films, making these films, and then using them for social change. So just to thank everyone again. I mean, just like Iwani said in her film, I thank God every day that I get this opportunity and, you know, to just work on with these amazing people and these issues. We're thrilled to receive so many international films from Afghanistan, China, the films from China. I mean, I was just, Gia, thank you for opening that door. We got 2 incredible films from Chinese students, and we'll get more next year because we're partnering with other organizations. Egypt, so many other countries, students, amazing students. So I also want to thank my husband, who is my pal, my buddy, my best friend, my mentor, everything. He's the best. And Ara and Carrie, again, you guys are just incredible to work with. Harvard Social Innovation Collaborative, for all they have done to support us and to partner with us. I don't know if Nasheen is still here. But his team, him and his team, they've been just amazing. Our judges, especially the ones who are here, Abigail, Eloise, Ian, all equally impressive, all just equally, you know, humble and compassionate and beautiful partners to work with, who we just, you know, are so aligned with what we're trying to do, and we're so aligned with what they're trying to do. All working to make the world a better place. All of our sponsors, our advisor, Deepa Dante. We have one advisor right now. But she's been incredible, very supportive. She's stayed up hours watching films. She's really, you know, helped give us insight into some, you know, different areas of film. And all of our volunteers, definitely. And I just want to thank my sister and my nieces and nephew for being here too. I just think that's so cool. I love family. So lastly and most importantly, I want to thank the Girls Impact the World filmmakers. We absolutely cannot do this without you. You guys are incredible, amazing. We are inspired by you day after day after day in your films and the people that you're helping and supporting by doing this incredible work. We're just humbled and grateful to be able to showcase these amazing films, my God. So it's with a big heart and tons of gratitude and tons of enthusiasm that I say thank you. We say thank you, good night, and see you next year.